Hi everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! And the video you're about to watch is the grand finals from the Aeos India Championship. I was asked to do commentary on this match as it was happening, which was really exciting for me. I want to commentate more tournaments. This is the biggest tournament they have had in India for this game, so I was up at I think like 2:30 in the morning doing commentary on this match. Really interesting, very similar meta to what you see in a lot of the tournaments you might see here in North America, EU, and stuff like that. And while there was some difficulties for me because there's like a bit of lag inside the feed, it was a really fun time. I think the matches are great. There are some great comeback moments inside them. I won't spoil anything, but I think it's a really exciting series to watch. Let me know what you think. I'll have links to all of their information in the description of this video. I hope you enjoy the grand finals of this tournament between, I believe it was Alpha Q and Team Instinct. I'll also mention there's some minor technical issues, and I try to edit around them. Enjoy.
Wow, I mean, yeah, we're looking at almost a complete mirror matchup, except they're junglers. We have Zeraora and Talonflame. So this is from the perspective of Alpha Q.
Yes.
Yeah, here on the purple team.
Yep. Volk is from Alpha Q. Volk is Volk Chop Me, they're all from Alpha Q. And on the right hand side, on the orange side, we have Team Instinct.
Awesome. Going for the center Audino here. Both teams fighting over it. It definitely seems like Instinct has the better of it, but Alpha Q's hiding there from it, and that was grabbed by Instinct. So we have Snorlax actually from Alpha Q in the jungle. Are they taking some of that jungle from their Zeraora? Is that very common?
No, that's not common. I don't think he took it. I think he's just wondering.
Okay.
But yeah, Phoenix and Aeos.
Here we go. The fight seems to be, obviously we've got 9 minutes here, so the question is, are they going to peel? We actually have a fight getting ready to happen. Looks like here in the top lane we have both junglers top right now for the 850 Bs. This could be interesting. We didn't get a gank from either team, but it looks like we've got Talon waiting there for Zeraora. I wonder if they know. I mean, they know there has to be a fight here. And it looks like a big fight without too much of a trade there. We're back into the jungle, back into the bottom lane. Getting pushed around here in the bottom lane. They've got Sylveon, and we do not have a Sylveon for the purple team. Still Eevee, so they must have gotten a ton of those bees.
Yep. And Phoenix and Theos exchanging blows here. Phoenix getting in those 11 points for his attack rate.
Yeah, it looks like top lane seems to be holding their own very well for both teams. Very similar. We've got a power-up punch Lucario. I don't know. I think maybe they were both power-up punch Lucarios, if I saw that right.
Yep.
I mean, it's really interesting because both of these teams are running such similar compositions that it really is going to be what strategy is better, and of course who mechanically is better with these builds, because we are seeing almost identical setup, which is for me one of the more stressful things that can happen inside of a match. I love it when I'm laning against people who have different Pokemon. When it's the same Pokemon and you lose your lane, you feel very bad, because that just means they beat you at your own game.
I know, right? I mean, it feels terrible. I don't Greninja, so yeah. Greninja jungle, it's pain.
Yeah. So this is like the big question for me here, was what was going to happen right around the 7-minute mark. Some people really prioritize Rotom right now. Some people Dread. We've got 4 down at Dread for both teams. Both Lucarios staying solo in that top lane. So it's really just a fight in this bottom lane, seeing if they can catch anything. That Talonflame is super low right now, and he's backing because of it. So purple team has the advantage here heading into this fight at Dread. And then, of course, top lane is just 2 Lucarios against each other at this moment.
Yep.
I wonder if we can see that Dreadnought.
Yep.
There we go.
Dreadnought,
Purple team takes Dread. Big moves from Alpha Q. That's really huge for them right now. And yeah, and they won that fight too, just pushing them back right here. And this is interesting because there really wasn't any counterplay on either side. It was just both teams going for Dread, and unfortunately Instinct lost that fight pretty hard. We now see everyone from Alpha Q rotating to that top lane. The question is, can Instinct come back here at this Rotom fight, or are they going to be behind for this as well because of that level advantage?
Right. So I think, you know, they're definitely going to be challenged, and they were a little slow to rotate as well, I would say. You know, they would have wanted to start the Rotom, seeing that, you know, they're getting pressured on the other side.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got all 5 from Instinct. We have 4 from Alpha Q. And this is a big fight here. Big ult from Talonflame. Unite move from Lucario. I mean, things are getting thrown down like crazy here. We have Talonflame taking out Snorlax. We have, oh gosh, this fight is just getting intense here. The question is, who is going to pull this out? Do we have... Okay, Zeraora did make it to the fight. I was just wondering, is Zeraora going to be there? Yes, Zeraora is here. Big Unite move. Sylveon now. Here we go. Can Purple Team push them all the way into their goal here? This is a really dangerous move, it feels like, fighting them so intensely in that goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, they're trying to push on that advantage. Meanwhile, Lucario scores 40 points in the bottom lane. So they swap lanes, and they're making the most of it.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it feels like this is just one of those fights where it feels like someone needs to make a move here so that they can win this here. We have a double KO from Sylveon on Alpha Q, and they take that Rotom in the top lane. Right now, Alpha Q is absolutely dominating this match. They are going to take that top goal, and they're going to continue pushing. No, they pull back, and they're retreating from that secondary goal. Wow. Heading down to Dreadnought. I mean, this is just a huge, huge start for Alpha Q.
Yep. And we see here, you know, I think Alpha Q now once again rotating to Dreadnought on time. Fight has begun.
Yeah.
Unite from Talonflame.
Got a Unite from Talon, Unite from Eldegoss. We have a Unite from... Ooh, what? That was...
Zeraora, sorry.
Zeraora. Did he miss, or did that hit Talon and then Talon flew? Okay, wow. Here we go. They're on Dread. They're burning it right now. The question is, does the enemy have any chance of stealing this? I mean, is there any pot? No. Boom. I mean, right now, we have a commanding lead from Alpha Q. This is one of those games where, at this point, nothing is over, of course, in Unite, but it's really Alpha Q's game to lose right now. They have won every exchange in this match.
Well, you did say something wonderful. Nothing is over in Unite, and that is so true. And, you know, I mean, we've seen so many games being turned on their head. In fact, even in the third and fourth place matches, it was crazy. But we see Talonflame being knocked out here by Zeraora.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's really interesting because, of course, where the respawn timers go, the biggest thing to think about is, you know, if you've lost every single team fight up until now, as long as Alpha Q just plays it competently and safe, they are ahead for every exchange they're about to go into. But it doesn't mean that Instinct can't come back. It happens all the time in Unite. Big Unite there from Talon. Let's see. We've got Sylveon going down. Oh boy, here it goes. Here we go.
I think this is the Rotom that they wanted, and they might get it.
Wow, this is really huge. Yeah, can they get, the question is, can they get this and can they take this goal? If they can take this goal and then push that Rotom, that is so massive for this fight right now. We're going to have to see what happens here.
It's 27 seconds to Zapdos, so they want to delay it as much as they can. They get it finally, I think. Oh my god, they steal it!
Wow.
Aeos steals it for Team Alpha Q.
And now we have a double KO there. I mean, this is big. This is really, really big. They're going to be on their back foot here. This is Zapdos or nothing right now, it's going to feel like, for Instinct. So they are in a really tough spot. Zapdos up in 2-1. Here we go. The last big fight of the game is possibly coming up here. Question is, how are they going to position themselves in a way where they can win this? They want to catch someone here. They just tried to catch with Talon and with Snorlax, but they missed it. Ooh, that Sylveon is so mean. What a mean Sylveon from Alpha Q. Ah, Lucario pushing in. They're pushing in hard right here. We have a Unite from Talonflame. Wow, this is a big team fight here in the center, but it looks like Alpha Q is cleaning this up.
Meanwhile, Lucario was 80 points in the top lane, for Instinct here. Now they're just bullying them.
Yeah, now this really is bullying here. I don't love that play. I mean, I understand the idea of scoring the points here, but this is such an important team fight that it feels like you've just got to push in and fight here. Scoring those points, I mean, we're not close enough, I feel like, to score those points. Maybe they even thought with Zapdos they couldn't take it. So here we go. This is a full-on coin flip. They are taking Zap with everything they have. They have no other option here. If they're able to get it and completely wipe the enemy team, there's something here. Let's see what we have. Who is able to take this Zap? Everyone's just pouring as much damage as they can.
Oh my god, Zapdos as well.
There you go. Big fight. That was just a complete who can have that Zap. And of course, I mean, Alpha Q ahead all game, a dominant performance. They win this Zapdos. That is definitely GG. There's no coming back from that. Really impressive match. Well, you know, there's only 200 points here. I'm surprised actually Alpha Q didn't score more. Let's see. Does anyone have points on Instinct? Does anyone have points to score? We got 11 here. 8. There's just not enough. They don't have enough Aeos energy, do they? Wow. Really solid performance from both teams, with Alpha Q just completely dominated that match. They won every significant fight in that game, and they even stole Rotom when they lost that final Rotom fight. Just a really big match for them.
I think Alpha Q, were very on point with the rotations. They didn't leave any lane unguarded till the very end, and I think that's where they did the things right. But tell us more, Jake. I mean, what do you think could change from Team Instinct going into Game 2? What are the kind of drafts that you would expect from them with this 3-1-1 strategy? Or would you expect them to continue their draft?
One of the toughest things is, do they have other Pokemon in their roster that they feel comfortable playing? And do they think if they do, that they have something that counters this setup pretty well? Because what I'm seeing here from both teams is very popular setup in the meta right now. I think TTV, which is a really popular team over here,
Yes.
I think they run an almost similar setup to both of these teams. So they're playing Pokemon that are widely regarded as some of the best in the meta. For me, I'm wondering if they have someone like a Mr. Mime that they can switch in and hopefully have some more control possibly in that bottom lane. But then again, if this is who they're best with, they also might say to themselves, look, we got outplayed in that match. Mechanically, we lost it. We lost experience in this moment. If we could change that around, we would do a lot better next time. The fact is, every big team fight was controlled by Alpha Q inside that match.
Totally agree. And I think Alpha Q very dominant there in terms of the overall strategy, or the execution of the strategy, I would say. Because they were very on point with the overall, how they rotated, how they got the objectives, and even with the Zapdos, they got the final steal on that Zapdos, the final nail on the coffin of Team Instinct for the first match.
Yeah, that Zapdos fight was interesting because Instinct had to take it. Obviously, you see that you never want to be the team that has to have it. You want to be the team that's like, hey, if we get it, that's cool, but we can defend this. I really like what Instinct did there. It was a full push on Zap, and really at that point, it's, as they say, it is a coin flip. Whoever is just going to get that last tick of damage is going to get it. And it was Sylveon against Sylveon, Hyper Voice against Hyper Voice. Which tick of damage ended up taking that down? So it was really interesting to see that final moment play out like that. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't remember the exact point differential, but it is possible if they take that Zap there and get a KO or two with the Aeos energy, that could have been a win for Instinct. So it really still was anybody's game up there until the end, as in Pokemon Unite. But
you won't believe in the third place match. Team, I think it was Team Fraternity, right? They took the Zapdos for 2 rounds, and in spite of getting the Zapdos, they lost both those rounds it was not because they had like a huge lead or something. The opponents just outscored them in spite of losing Zapdos.
Yeah, it happens. You know, one of the coolest things about the meta right now is with how important Rotom has become. Teams set themselves up in a way where even if they lose Zap, they can counter score, or they can lose Zap but win a couple of the fights inside that arena at Zap. And then as both teams peel out to take those scores, if people are on long KO timers, it's irrelevant who won Zap at that point. You know, who has more Aeos energy? Can 5 people from this team score opposed to 3 people from this team? Well, it doesn't matter if these 3 people got Zap. It's over. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think, go on, please.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm curious, what do you think, if anything, would change team comp-wise, strategy-wise for Instinct so that they can come back here?
So I think, Instinct have been running a very, standard roster. In fact, both these teams have been running this roster, or similar roster for throughout the tourney. But if we talk about their, gameplay overall, they've played Pokemon like, they've majorly played Sylveon, Eldegoss, and yeah, most of the matches, it's been this composition throughout for them, even in the past, round.
Yeah.
So
well, it's extremely popular because Sylveon is such an amazing tool in that bottom lane. I know some people will take Snorlax, Mime, LD, so you'll get like a ton of support, and that Mr. Mime has a ton of control. Some people swap out Mime with Pikachu. So there are a lot of different options in that bottom lane, but Sylveon's such an amazing one because at level 4, Sylveon becomes an absolute beast. It gets its Unite at level 8. So it's just such a great choice for that lane. I absolutely understand why so many people run it in that situation, and it actually is probably my main right now for whatever it's worth. I'm not a competitive tournament player, but I find so much value out of Sylveon and Hyper Voice. You steal objectives, you chase down KOs, you take wild Pokemon. It is just such a solid attacker, especially when your team is coordinated. You can really set up some amazing stuff with it.
Yep. Absolutely. And I was just going through some of the previous matches, and I noticed that they've run Cramorant a few times, but that's been Team Alpha Q. Not sure they'd be keen to change at this point because they're what is working for them, what they're doing. So
yeah,
what are your thoughts on that? Would you advise a change in their strategy if it's working, or do you think you should keep trying things around, or just stick to what you're doing good?
Well, it depends. One thing that I would want to figure out if I was losing is, did we lose while playing optimally and playing our strategy? And if the answer to that is yes, then I think you need to change something up. You need to change, like maybe you go, okay, we all went Dread. So basically what happened, every single team fight of that game, as you would say, the groups were always at the same points. If I was on the other team, if I was on Instinct there, I might make some different decisions as to what I was.
Hi, other Jake here. Looks like there are some audio issues at this point of the broadcast, so I'm going to bring you back once it looks like that has been fixed.
Alpha Q with that Greninja, and we're just waiting for the game to start. Super duper excited. We're heading into this one. We might have some issues here.
So is this the best? Is it a best of 5 series? Is this
the best of 7?
Best of 7. Okay, best of 7. Great.
Yes.
That's exciting because I was like, ooh, we're coming down to it very, very soon. Okay, here we go.
No. You want to give them, the maximum opportunity to go hammer and tongs at each other, rip each other bits and pieces, and whoever is the last man standing wins.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The coolest thing that we'll see is once a team is down, we don't know if a team's going to be down or if it's going to start feeling even as you go. But, if a team starts getting down in this situation, they're going to change up their strategy. They're going to change up their Pokemon in an exciting way. And I think that's pretty huge.
Yes,
here
absolutely.
We go. We are in the game here.
So far, Alpha Q with the lead, an early lead. And just like I say that, Lucario scored 16 for his team.
Yeah, we just got some pretty basic Lucario stuff happening in this top lane here. Some jungling. Yeah, I mean,
Lucario's doing Lucario things.
Yeah, Lucario's doing Lucario things, and they're both here for it. Woo! pushing back against.
Nice punch there. Yep.
Yeah, Aeos there. All right. So yeah, just some basic Lucario stuff on top. Oh, actually, bottom lane, they've got a KO. They took down the enemy Sylveon. This is big because you can really hammer at this goal. It's hard to do against the Snorlax and an Eldegoss, but you know, if you have the player advantage, we have Greninja coming down, and we also have Zeraora coming down. So they've decided that they can actually team fight this here. Greninja peeling back a little bit. They're looking for that. Ooh, so close to getting that sneaky KO there, but they are not able to make it. And now we have 4-on-4 at Dreadnought again. Lucario's staying top here. Very interesting.
The fighter up. Rex in trouble. Backs off Jaeger being chased. Jaeger taken out.
Wow, I mean, that Sylveon from Alpha Q is just brutal. I mean, it feels like they're in the right position every time to just melt them. Here we go, and taking. I love those moves of taking that farm in the bottom lane when you're winning those team fights. It just continues to keep you ahead of the enemy team. The higher level you are, the better that fight's gonna go for you.
Yep, and we see Rotom and Dreadnought spawned here. Both teams, just positioning themselves for the fight, trying to get into the right spot.
It's interesting. I mean, we just saw a wild charge Zeraora, didn't we? Is that what I was looking at? I rarely see that, so I'm really interested to see how this is going to work. Obviously, Dreadnought taken here. Unite immediately. 2 Unites being thrown down. They are deciding to push this advantage. This goal is getting crashed. They're all now running to the top lane. Huge win for Alpha Q right there. Top lane, we still have Lucario up there top lane. But wow.
But
wow,
yeah,
wow,
in the meanwhile, you notice that Eldegoss has put in a cheeky 30 for his team, making sure that they don't get too far in the lead, Alpha Q here.
Yes. Yeah. And now the question is, I mean, what do they... Obviously, they want to get back in this game, Instinct right here. So the question is, how are they going to organize at this Rotom fight? Wow, that was a really interesting play from Drake in there. The thing I worry about is, I mean, that Rotom was not low enough to start burning it like that. So I'm wondering what the plan was. Maybe just trying to force that fight and get them to peel off their teammates here. We see Rotom down at about a third there. So, and it's burnt by Alpha Q. Alpha Q, just such incredible coordination in these team fights. They really are setting up amazing plays for this Sylveon, but that Snorlax is setting it up perfectly.
I absolutely agree. I think Snorlax with his positioning and his initiation is just spot on, and I think that's what's really getting Alpha Q the advantage in those fights.
Yeah,
of course, the follow up is awesome as well.
Yeah, the follow-up is amazing. They're very good at their angles. They're very good at setting up how they want these fights to go. But yeah, one of the best things that you can have, especially as a Sylveon, is to have someone near you who can push them exactly where you need them, because that damage that you can just leave on the enemy team is pretty amazing. They're actually having to back here. So it looks like Alpha Q is just kind of bullying them away from this Dreadnought spawn. We've still got their Lucario in the center there. It looks like they're farming up a little bit, waiting possibly until it's time to come down for this fight. Here we go. Big fight. Big Unites.
Lucario gets Snorlax first. This looks to be trouble for Alpha Q here.
Yes. This is kind of big. Look at that. They're scoring on this goal. They're trying to push it down. Here we go. I mean, this is such a big fight right now, but Snorlax is now back for Alpha Q. So they're throwing it into the fight. Do we have Dread for either team? It's, I think, is it Greninja on it? Oh boy.
Sylveon trying going for the steal, unsuccessful. Greninja gets the Dreadnought for Team Alpha Q.
Yep. Big for Team Alpha Q. And something I've really wanted to see here is how this wild charge Zeraora was going to play out. I don't know if their plan was to really focus down the carries on the enemy team. You've got Greninja, you've got Sylveon, maybe even Lucario. Is that wild charge effective enough? It's not a strategy I really ever see at a top-level competitive play, but I know some people swear by this wild charge Zeraora.
It's interesting, and Alpha Q once again gotten the Rotom, pushing in hard here. Team Instinct backing off.
Oh boy. They just got pushed in there. You saw that leaf tornado. It's one of the greatest things about Eldegoss with that Rotom. You throw it on that Leaf Tornado, and it is on a magic carpet shooting all the way down there. You basically cannot stop that Rotom. It's already so fast, and now it's just speeding down on this bed of leaves. It's pretty incredible what you're able to set up there with Eldegoss, and it's probably why it is the #1 support played in top competitive play.
Yep, I think, absolutely spot on there with that observation, Jake. And we see Artemis here, both teams just farming, trying to stay put until Zapdos, I guess. 30 seconds in for Zapdos.
So this is that moment where, you really just want to stay competitive. The score here from this Lucario is nice.
Cheeky 40, yes, very nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like that, it pushes off that top goal. So the other thing, though, is some teams like to keep that top goal in that moment so they can get a big amount of points there. That being said, they know they need Zap. It looks like here they're behind level-wise. They're 2 levels down on their jungler. They're two levels down on their attacker. So they know this is a Zap fight here. Oh, and immediately Snorlax is being melted away by that water shuriken, and I was gonna say, are they really starting Zap? And it was just Greninja's double team starting it for them. There we go. Eldegoss down, chasing down this Sylveon. Here we go. I mean, that Greninja's gonna take it right now. Sylveon down, that's a double KO for Alpha Q. We have Lucario down from Alpha Q, so it's 2 down. Let's see here. Zeraora on its way back. Lucario throwing down its Unite move, trying to stay alive here, just trying to get out of this bad situation and possibly get back in for a fight. Can Snorlax get out of here? Oh, wow. What an escape by that Snorlax. And they're just trying to regroup right here. Unite's coming down. We have a Unite from Sylveon here. They take out Zeraora once again, trying to position with this Snorlax. But right now it feels like Alpha Q is really pushing the advantage right here. Oof. Double KO, pushing them back towards base.
Sylveon trying to put in a cheeky here.
Sylveon going for a score here. They're quite behind. They have to know that they're quite behind. So the play right here, even if they take these little scores on the side goals, it's going to keep them competitive, but they know they need this Zapdos. They know that this... Ooh. You know what? I had not noticed this whole time that was a Yawn Snorlax. Wow. How nice is that? I rarely see a Yawn Snorlax. This is great.
I think, it could also be very, very interesting. So when you're playing a mobile, I think, when you're in a pressure situation and you get that power up, a lot of times, the pressure gets to you and you end up misclicking.
Oh, I see.
It is possible that could also be the case. Usually we see we do not see the Yawn Snorlax, but yeah, Sylveon knocking out double here in the chase for Artemis.
So this is interesting right here because, we have Sylveon on instinct scoring and things like that, but let's face it, they needed Zapdos. So all of these moves, I understand, but they're way too far behind to be making them. They're way, way, way too far behind, it feels like. I love the effort to put some points on the board and hopefully keep the game more competitive. But in the end they're still going to need to take that Zapdos or that game is not competitive. It really isn't. They were too far behind for those small scores to really change anything in that match.
Yes, absolutely. And with that, I think Team Alpha Q now taking the lead with 2-0. Looking quite strong here, not really giving the opponents a chance. I think both the matches, they were fairly dominant across. They had their plays in place. They were very on point with their positioning. And we see the result of that in them getting objectives, I think.
Yeah, I mean, their positioning is incredible, and you just see that combination of Sylveon and Snorlax for Alpha Q has just been incredible all game. The two of them together are setting up amazing plays. You see that Sylveon getting double KOs all the time. Not only are we pushing one of the people out of position, he's often getting 2 people in really, really dangerous situations, and that Sylveon just capitalizes on it every time. So really, really solid play. And I'll say it feels like Alpha Q is more coordinated with those picks, those moments where you have Snorlax jump in and you're kind of disrupting things. It feels like they're capitalizing on those so much more than Instinct right now.
I think Instinct just need that killer instinct, to be be on point with their positioning, on point with their, I think initiation. And they definitely have a fighting chance. They've done a great job. They've beat the top teams to get here. So I think they just need to, pull together and sort of get back into the groove.
Yeah. I would love to see a strategy change from Instinct. If they obviously, if they have another rough game, they're going to be in a position where they're going to have to start making some, as we'd say, like Hail Mary plays. Like you're trying the maybe the riskiest play you can, but you need to start getting some points on the board. You need to start winning. So I'm wondering what the shot calling and the coaching is like, or the strategy is like from that team, because it does feel like in those final moments of the game, I know they're behind level wise, but they needed Zap so badly that I'm wondering where their heads at with peeling off and scoring so much in that final fight, given that it's not going to change the nature of the match. It's not going to change who actually wins it. I mean, there's, you know, as
No,
unfortunate as
I
it is,
absolutely agree.
no one's excited for the team because they scored a decent amount. You got to get that win, you know?
Right. Right, exactly. No, I think that's a very wise set of words for Team Insecure. I think they really got to put their heads together, figure out really be conscious of where they are at in terms of the score, and they have to strategize and plan accordingly. If you're behind in score, you really need to get that totem. You really need to get those points in. If you're behind in XP, you really need to get you need to prioritize and make sure you get it. You need to make sure you don't start the fight until you're in position.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I wonder, for me at this point, if you start going, okay, do we have the wrong setup team wise, or again, like we talked about before, are we just getting unlucky in some of these exchanges? If that is the case, how do we position ourselves to be more lucky? You know, if you will,
Right.
and then. Of course, another question that pops into my head is, do we change the strategy up? Do we start focusing top lane? Do we sacrifice Dreadnought, move through top early? You know, a team that I love to watch is another content creator, Crashy's team, the Bandicoots. They focus
Mm-hmm.
on a top lane strategy. So they
Mm-hmm.
abandon Dreadnought. They push that top lane and they really dominate score wise for a huge part of the match because of it. And I'm wondering if right now, Team Instinct is having some conversations like, how do we actually change our strategy to flip this? Because right now they're mirroring, and unfortunately they're losing. They're mirroring in almost every aspect, and they're losing each team fight.
No, I think that's absolutely correct, Jake. And Team Instinct really need to pull off something, out of the world here. They need to put out some aggressive plays, get those early scores. And I think, what AlphaQ is doing is really getting to them mentally because they're constantly putting in those points and putting on that pressure, and they keep piling it up to a point where it gets, unsustainable for Team Instinct, and that's what really causes them to crumble and make those
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really interested to see what Pokemon we see from both teams moving into this next round. Obviously, both teams changed up junglers. That's all they changed up. They changed junglers, and we saw similar results. So I'm wondering if we're going to see something different jungle wise. But at some point, the question is, do they change anything up in their bottom lane, or is this, their squad and they are not moving it?
So, Jake, while we wait for the answer to that, I would like to ask you, in terms of a 3-1-1 versus a 2-1-2 strategy, what is your preference and why?
Well, I play mostly solo queue. That's like all the
Right.
games like solo, duo. I don't run 5-person teams as much. So when I see competitive, I remember when the 1-1-3 strategy first came out, one top, one
Mm-hmm.
jungle, three bottom. I remember talking to some of the top teams, and there was feeling at the time that that strategy would not necessarily be the best strategy, that you could hold bottom lane with two people and you'd still run two people top. And obviously, you've seen that that has
completely gone now. It is solo Lucarios in the top lane, unless the tournament allows Greedent. And in that sense, I have seen some Greedents in top lane. But we're seeing solo Lucarios in top lane. If you're in a coordinated 5-person group right now, there hasn't been a strategy, at least early, pre-Dread, pre-Rotom, that cracks the 1-1-3. It just seems to be so dominant in the meta right now. That bottom lane is just, it's, as someone who's run up against a 1-1-3 and you're 2 people in that bottom lane, it is just a sad day. It's so hard to fight back against it. And the interesting thing is, Lucario can still do what Lucario needs to do with 2 people top. So it doesn't matter. That's why it's so meta-defining to have a Pokemon like Lucario. If Lucario and Greedent, maybe Zeraora as well, but if you ban Lucario, Greedent, Zeraora, I wonder if you'd see the meta change a little bit, because you just wouldn't have as many Pokemon that could solo that top lane.
It would be quite interesting. It would actually be quite interesting, to see Lucario, not being available for a pick. That would really make it interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I would love to see some.
Yes, sir.
Oh, please go ahead.
So yeah, I think Team Instinct have gone for their standard pick. They've resorted back to Zeraora, and Team Alpha is sticking with the Greninja on Toy.
Okay, we're seeing similar setups here, and in this moment, if I am, Team Instinct, my big thought here is we need to change our strategy up, unless we truly believe, and this is totally possible because we've all played these games, we truly believe that we're getting unlucky in these moments. We're seeing this fight here, and that is stolen by who grabbed that? Was that
it was Alpha Q.
It was Alpha Q. Yeah, it was the Eevee. That's what I thought. And that Eevee is just such a dominant player right now. And look, the nice thing that they're doing here from Instinct is they are just letting their Eevee evolve here. We have a Sylveon here right away, actually before Alpha Q. So they're just getting ready for this fight, making sure they have Sylveon, getting this Eldegoss as well. So they're just getting themselves set up here. We have Lucario heading back, taking these Apoms in the top lane. Right now, Lucario is pretty evenly matched here. We've got Sylveon taking this Corphish. We're going to have Sylveon on Sylveon action. Let's see. We do not have an Eldegoss on either side, actually. Oh, and here we in the top lane. Do we have
Phoenix 1v2?
Oh boy.
Aeos.
Here we go. That's a KO right there.
Unlucky,
big top lane moves. Big top lane moves. And then in bottom, I'm not sure who won that exchange. From the amount of Aeos energy, it looks like it was actually Instinct that won that exchange in the bottom lane. The question is, can they stay alive? Yes, they can. Taking out that Snorlax here, so we actually have an interesting situation.
Breaking on the chase.
Yeah, they have won bottom lane during that Bees fight, so they're ahead right now bottom and behind right now top here.
I wonder what the Jera was doing in that fight, 1v2 fight with Phoenix, and, interesting to see here.
Yeah, it is very curious to wonder what happened in that top lane that actually took that Zera down. Here we go! Instinct being pushed back so hard right now. I mean, they were getting extremely aggressive, and now they are paying for it right now. Oh, this is so unfortunate for Instinct, but they're actually able to make it out by the skin of their teeth right there. No one is down. Sylveon and Zeraora.
Down. Yep.
There we go. Big moves here. Forming up for these 720 Bs, and it's an all-out fight in this bottom lane. We do have Greninja here. This is big right now, but Greninja's actually getting chunked down hard. Zeraora taking down that Snorlax. So here we go in that bottom lane. We actually have some really strong plays from Instinct. Big Hyper Voice from Alpha Q, but they are pushing them back right now. Right now, Instinct, it feels like, has this bottom lane. They are more in control in this bottom lane.
Well, yeah, looking strong so far for sure. They're 31 points behind, but I think that's too early to call anything for the lead. And Dreadnought and Rotom.
Here we go. Dread is up, and we do have Discharge now on Zeraora, which for me is just so much more impactful. So I wonder if it was a misclick onto Wild Charge like we possibly talked about before, but we are getting ready for Dread here. Are they attacking it? They are burning it a bit here, so we're going to see what the plan is. We've got Discharge coming out. There we go. Sylveon down from Alpha Q.
I think they've been listening to us and are now focusing that Sylveon with making sure to take him out early on in fight. And I think that's what should work in their favor. Meanwhile, Alchemist, oh, they steal the Dreadnought.
They've got the Dreadnought. Wow, this is big. The interesting thing here is they rotated their Lucario down because they were losing that. Alpha Q was losing that. They rotated Lucario down, and now they are cleaning up in this bottom lane. But that means the Lucario for Instinct is all alone top lane. He gets Rotom here, so we can see that pushing top, and at the same time we see Alpha Q now taking bottom. So really interesting. A bit of a trade here. The question is, do they break this goal? Is he just waiting to get as much Aeos energy as possible before he scores on it? Yes, that's what he was doing. We do have a broken goal here in top lane. This is actually a much more competitive fight after these first two moments than the last couple. So obviously, Instinct is shifting things around, and they are setting themselves up to possibly win this match.
Yes, I think they're now pulling together, they're coming together, the plan is working out, they're doing the right thing. So a very positive start for them. They've got the first two objectives, bang on. Let's see if they can continue this momentum from here.
Yeah,
they've got the level advantage, they've got the, they're behind in points, but they've got the level advantage.
Yeah. Something I love that you mentioned was, oh, and here we go. They're just dunking on that bottom goal. Bottom goal gone. So now we have a point advantage. We have a goal advantage for Instinct. They are back in this game in a huge way. And yeah, I mean, I think they noticed that the Sylveon from Alpha Q was an absolute monster, and they've decided that that is their focus. That Sylveon and that Snorlax in a team fight. Here
we go.
Again.
You see them. They're pushing for the backline, they're chasing for that Sylveon, and it's actually causing Alpha Q to sort of, break up their positioning. And, again, they're looking very dominant in the fight here. Unite being popped. Phoenix takes out.
Wow.
The guy fights all over the country. Toy taking out your bite, Phoenix.
It's so big, we got a double KO there. Oh, wow. What a fight. What a fight. What a fight. But you can see there the priorities in that fight. It is shifting for Instinct. So I don't know what they were prioritizing beforehand, but right now it feels like they are very much aware that that Sylveon has to go early. And here we go.
And they're trying to steal the Dreadnought of the Unite. Misses, getting chased down. Escape.
That is an easy dread for Alpha Q there, but
I think they've rotated for Rotom very quickly. Team Instinct here. I think they should be able to get it.
Oh, it's so close.
Here
we go. Oh, great. So this is huge for Instinct. If they can heal up, win this team fight, and push this Rotom, man, this is so big for them. So here we go. We've got a Unite move coming down from Snorlax. They're crashing on this goal right now. But, I mean, we have that Rotom being pushed in. Unfortunately, no one is able to capitalize. Let's see if Zeraora actually... Yeah, Zera wants these points, but I think Alpha knows this. Yeah, they knew. Ooh, it's so close. Can he get him? Here we go!
40 points!
Big score. I love this play. I love this play from Instinct. If he makes... Oh, my gosh! He is just incredible at juking this. He almost makes it out of this insane encounter that he got himself into. That was pretty incredible plays from the Zeraora there on Instinct. Really, really nice.
Act together. You're really just getting out there, understanding their priorities, and getting things in the right order.
Yeah, here we go. The interesting thing about this match right here is we are now seeing Instinct leading, heading into Zap for the first time in this series. So the question is, now that they're leading, can they put the pressure on Alpha Q, make Alpha Q the team that has to aggress and make hopefully some poor decisions? And then from that, can they win this fight? This is a great position for Instinct. However, they're actually not positioned very well in this Zapdos. We actually see Zapdos being started here by Alpha Q. Big fights, big unites. Here we go. Lucario, everyone's throwing something down right now. And you can see Instinct trying to take that Sylveon out. Oh, can Zeraora live? Oh my gosh. All right, we have KOs here. We have 2 down from Instinct, 1 down from Alpha Q, and they are now burning this zap again. They're attacking it pretty hard.
Yes, Q going, all guns blazing for the Zapdos, breaking, chasing. Oh my God, they steal the Zapdos!
Big move. So we've got a steal.
Their game.
This is huge. So right now, obviously, we have Instinct making their way to these goals. Big scores happening all over. The question is, what is Alpha Q going to do? Can they counter score enough? Right now, they are really, really, really behind in this moment. We still have 50 seconds of this match left, but it is quickly slipping through their fingers. Oh man, and that Lucario! Oh no! Oh.
Last second 110 points. Just to add insult to injury.
That's game at that point. They couldn't stop any of those scores, and what a comeback from Instinct. You love to see it.
I told you, they got their killer instinct out, and they're working the magic now at this point.
Yeah, and this is, I guess, the nicest thing about a best-of-7 series, or even a series that goes more than just 3 games. Because if this was a best-of-3, we would have already seen the series over. It would have ended already with Alpha Q winning both matches. But it's given time for Instinct to react to their strategies and come up with a new plan. And that new plan, in my opinion, was destroy Sylveon. Like, get rid of that Sylveon. And boy, did it work. That felt like it really worked.
Yes, I think, in any MOBA, right, you want to get the damagers out of the way first before focusing on the attackers. What they were doing previously was focusing on that Snorlax. And as a result of that, they were not able to get in enough damage for themselves, for the others, basically.
Yeah.
And, Jake, he has some questions for you in the chat, so I'll just ask them to you on behalf of the community. So Vajra is asking, if you're leading, shall we go for Zapdos, or should we try to pick off some players and then try to attempt the Zapdos?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm playing and when I see a lot of teams play, here's the thing with Zapdos right now is the game is so bursty, and you see how fast you can actually drain that Zapdos. It goes pretty quick. So you think you have more time than you do to fight against it. The reason I bring this up is if you KO 3 or even 4 members of the enemy team, and you see one of them has peeled off and they're, doing that score where they're going to dunk 100 points and they're not at the Zapdos fight. If your team is at Zapdos, you can take out Zapdos in a matter of seconds. So in that moment, I push the advantage and I take Zap. If we're ahead, all I want to do is I want the enemy team to have to burn their Unite moves, to have to burn their buddy barriers, and hopefully try to get them in a position where they want Zap. I don't want Zap. So let them be the aggressor. And then once they're kind of cooled off, especially a Pokemon like a Greedent or something like that, once its Unite is done, once I see that their Mr. Mime has used their Unite, that's the moment where I go, okay, we don't need Zap here. We can turn this fight around, focus entirely on the enemy team. And most of the time, I would say, coordinated wise, you're going to win in that moment, as long as you let them make the first mistake.
Absolutely. I think, yeah. So, Vajra, that is your answer, and, beautifully explained by Jake. And Jake, there's more requests for yeehaws from you.
Yeehaw. I'll give a yeehaw. 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 Yeehaw.
There you go, Darkrai. So you missed it the first time, just for you and for Vajra. So, guys, hope you enjoying the stream. Hope you're enjoying my conversation with Jake, and he's been such a sport, Guys, once again, hats off to you, Jake, for dropping by and making time for us this early.
And
I think there's been a mistake here, so we might have to restart the match.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like maybe someone wasn't able to get in. Something happened here.
Yep.
So no problem.
So Jake, tell me about it. What do you think about this spectator mode? I mean, you've seen other tournaments as well. How are the organizers handling it? Because it becomes such a challenge, spectating and adminning without being in the lobby itself.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think it's just one of the growing pains of this game. They actually added this spectator mode earlier than I think a lot of people thought. So
In
I'm
August, I
actually
believe.
I'm pleasantly surprised with it, but at the same time, yeah, it is what we're dealing with in this game right now. It's a growing pain of
And
of a brand new game. What I would love to see in this spectate mode, and I think a lot of people would also, we can see move sets pretty easy, but I want to know about held items on Pokemon. I want to see what everyone's running because I think that's, a lot of times that's a little bit of the secret sauce of how someone plays someone. You don't realize that slow bro that you're seeing on the enemy team is running all attack items. So I think that's one thing that could really help the spectate mode in this game.
No, and talking about the game, I think before we started the stream, me and you were talking about Unite and how it's been so impactful in, I think, driving the growth of the MOBA community or MOBA populace in general. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting because you were just telling me it's huge over there. Mobile gaming is huge over there, and mobile gaming is one of
Yes.
those things that I think for a long time, mobile gaming has kind of been looked at as like, hi, future Jake again. Looks like there's another issue with the broadcast. I'm taking you to where there is not an issue in the broadcast. Enjoy. You would think there's no way that you're going to beat a controller. That would be your first thought. And then you realize that the control that you have on mobile is absolutely comparable to a controller. I don't know if you ever used to play first person shooters, but first person shooters, playing on a mouse and keyboard and playing on a controller is night and day. Mouse and keyboard it's so much more accurate. It's so much easier to use. Mouse and keyboard dominates a controller. But when it comes to mobile versus controller, I think it's a completely fair fight, which is really awesome to see a game like this come out, be so solid, and have so many people excited for it.
Absolutely. I think, in general, we see so much of the community coming together. We see people transitioning from FPS games to Unite. We
Mm-hmm.
see so many people transitioning from, other genres to Unite because it's that kind of MOBA which is so, it's limited in time. It's limited by the complexity, I think. More about strategy. So, strategy versus complexity. What are your thoughts on Unite?
Well, the interesting thing about Unite, the matches being so short, it actually gives people more opportunities to understand each phase of the game. Whereas a game like, let's say, League of Legends, if you're playing a 40-minute match, you're not having the same level of complexity thrown at you as often. You can play 4 games of Unite in the time it takes you to play 1 game of League of Legends. So because of that, while the game is a little less complex, you're actually getting people more and more experience at each of these moments. And that's where we see the game really start to show its depth, as interesting as that would be. It's less complex. However, we're getting more experience faster playing Unite.
Exactly. I mean, I think that that's very brilliantly put. I am of a very similar thought there, Jake. That while it's limited by the amount of time, so there's limited complexities or permutation combinations that can happen. You can only have a maximum of up to 3 rotoms and 3 red nodes, right? So it's limited in that sense, but the amount of variations that can happen into that in terms of timing, in terms of Pokemon, is so much and so intense that it really makes the game very beautiful in that sense.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you want the game to be easy to pick up. In fact, and Pokemon Unite has made this clear. They want it to be easy to pick up. They actually want it to be
Hard to
easy
master.
for you to play at a high level as well. They want
Mhm.
people to, people get master rank in this game that wouldn't get whatever the equivalent is maybe in League or Dota. It's harder to get to those higher tiers. But Pokemon Unite really gets players competent faster, and yeah, it's been really cool to see its growth, and it hasn't surprised me because it's so accessible, and not only device wise but gameplay wise it's so accessible.
Agree. I think accessibility is definitely key for an esport or a game to grow in any place. And I think Pokemon Unite definitely delivers on that. In terms of being available across country and across servers, I think it's definitely established very early on that they want to they wanted to make it for everyone.
Hmm.
With a global release right out there in the starting, right? I mean, a lot of the games or esports that we've seen lately, they were released at different points in different places, but Unite going all out there.
Yeah, that's been really interesting, and I think you could imagine that they just release this game, release a few Pokemon skins, and move on. But clearly, there's a lot of excitement around it. They have such an incredible IP in Pokemon. It's like it's
Mhm.
a perfect IP for a MOBA. It's just MOBAs have a huge roster of characters. I can't think of a bigger roster than Pokemon. They're
I know,
set
right?
up for this to be so good. And I mean,
Insanely
I'm
new.
just so happy with how it's been. I'm curious, who's your main? Who do you like to play?
Greninja.
Greninja?
So
Okay.
yep. And in fact, I was just about to ask you, so what do you think? Smokescreen and Surf on Greninja versus Double Team and Shuriken?
It used to be Surf. I mean, Surf was the build, but now I don't think there's any question that Shuriken's the way to go. I have seen Double Team and Smokescreen still being played from top level players. So I don't think there's a consensus there. I think a lot of people like Double Team because the cooldown is quite a bit lower, but the utility from Smokescreen is still very, very positive. It's really you can really abuse it in some ways, and having less information is really unfortunate in a MOBA. So that smoke screen can be big. What do you like to run?
So I usually go with the Double Team and Shuriken,
Hmm.
and I have a very offensive or aggressive play style in that sense. So I
Hmm.
like to go all ham on my opponents.
Yeah.
I'm known for overextending in general, but I usually like to go all ham, and as a result, I run Shuriken and Double Team. The little damage, and sometimes when your illusion's correct, it causes some significant damage, I would say, and it really hurts the opponent.
Yeah.
So in that sense, and of course, it's beautiful for kiting. If you can get
Yes.
those shurikens on point with Greninja, you're crazy with those kites.
Yeah, it's really interesting because sometimes not only is it, I mean, it's great for positioning. Yeah, it's like you said, it's great for kiting. It does extra damage, and every once in a while, you will cast a move on one of the fake Greninjas. You'll even know it's the fake Greninja, but your auto targeting or whatever it was just took it there, and you're like, oh man. I just threw my solar beam or whatever it is at
Oh,
a
it
Pokemon I
hurts.
know is not the real Pokemon. It can really mess with the enemy team now that they made it eminently more targetable. Like your Pokemon tries to target the double teams more often. So
It's actually quite annoying. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it can mitigate a lot of damage for Greninja, and double team is the way to go for me. I mean, while I
yeah.
understand Smokescreen gives you a lot of utility in terms of escape and overall for your team from a team point of view, but again, if you're mitigating even one Unite with a double team, I'm all for it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean that can be the difference in a fight or not. You've seen those moments where Zeraora's Unite goes after the wrong Pokemon or goes after the wrong thing. They just kind of miss it, and then this field that would have been there in the fight or whatever is just not present. I mean, moments like that are huge, 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 huge. Or like Cinderace is another example. When Cinderace's Pyro Ball completely misses the real people in the fight or the real objective, that's such a bummer.
I talking about Cinderace, I think so. While I haven't seen too many teams running it, I also play Cinderace a lot. And if you ask me personally, I mean, if you go by my personal stats, I've always seen, with Greninja, my damage is in the range of 90k to about 80k to 90k. With Cinderace, it always exceeds 100k the
Yeah.
damage. So
Yeah.
I think the damage dissipation of Cinderace is that much higher. And why is it not so popular then?
I'm wondering if there's something that I talk about a lot, and it's that it doesn't matter how low the opposing Pokemon's HP is if they're still alive. And Cinderace does
Mhm.
have a little bit of an issue of not being as assassin-y as Greninja. So I think if some people, obviously, would you rather have, you know, an enemy Sylveon and Eldegoss at a quarter life, or Sylveon at half life and Eldegoss gone, or the, you know, the alternative? Of course, you'd always rather have one of the Pokemon gone. Right. So if Greninja happens to present better KO situations, I could see more people running it. Cinderace is an amazing Pokemon, and it's great at shredding tanks. So if the enemy team has, you know, Snorlax and a Mime or something like that, I could see a lot of situations where you want Cinderace, because almost no one shreds a tanky Pokemon like a Cinder. You know, Cinder's so good at it.
Absolutely. I think, you know, Cinderace, very useful that way. And I think, you know, maybe when we have the draft system coming into Unite for competitive play, I think that would make it very interesting and, you know, more usable. With that, so I think we're heading into game 3 here, yeah.
Yeah, we're heading into this game 4, right? Yeah.
Game 4, sorry. My bad.
Yeah, no problem. Game 4, and we have a complete mirror matchup right now. Still from the perspective here of Alpha Q being the purple team and Instinct being the orange team. And now it's a complete mirror matchup. Zeraora on both sides. Interesting to see.
Absolutely. And, you know, 2-1 is the score, in favor of Alpha Q right now. Toy changing from Greninja to Zeraora, and you know, somehow Instinct seems to be reciprocating. So I think they're fiddling around and trying to guess each other's moves. Let's see if they can, you know, once again target Volk and really, you know, take him out of the equation like they did last time.
I mean, that felt like one of the biggest things for Instinct in that last game, was just recognizing, hey, the longer that Sylveon is around, the worse this goes for us. Wow, almost taken out Snorlax there, having to back here in this moment in the bottom lane. And we're getting ready for this fight over the bottom lane Bs. We're also fighting here in top lane. Very, very similar to what we've seen in the start of every round. Nothing particularly huge, but actually, this is so interesting. We have Instinct's jungler going bottom. This is rare, and this is clearly on purpose. I mean, everyone knows that this doesn't often happen. They're trying to win this fight in the bottom lane. Can they really capitalize on it? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work, but we've got 4 on goal right here. They're being pushed back right now by Alpha Q, and it seems like that did not win the day for Instinct. I love the play, but it did not work.
Yeah, I think, you know, Instinct, in that sense, I mean, while you mentioned that it's rare that jungler rotates bot, I think it's been a common strategy by Instinct jungler that they've always rotated, you know, in the 3 lane instead of the, say, solo lane, which is, you know, I don't know, I would call it unique.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, that is interesting, because I feel like much more often you see the jungler, of course, go top, right, so that they can support this Lucario situation. But I love the play. It just, unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize on it. And because of that, now we have Alpha Q with that Sylveon. It's got the level advantage. It's got Calm Mind, and it's doing what it's done those first 2 games, is just being real mean.
Well, let's see if Volk can be taken out here. Draken on again. I think, you know, see, that's where they're making a mistake. You see Draken, he's chasing down that Snorlax for some reason.
Oh boy!
And you know, that's the mistake I think they're making.
You know, I mean, the biggest thing is just they, you know, if they are not able to take that Sylveon out, the Snorlax positions so well on Alpha Q for that Sylveon. So now the question is can Instinct come back and win this Dread fight? Dread's coming up in 5 seconds here, and we are seeing 4-on-4 down here at Dread. Oh boy.
So Lucario is doing Lucario things. And once again, Draken knocked. I think Draken's getting knocked out too easy, too cheaply here, without even dissipating any damage. And that's I think been that's, you know, turning out to be a pattern for team, you know.
Oh, look at the steal! Look at the steal from Instinct. There you go, Eldegoss with that Leaf Tornado steal. So frustrating when that happens to you, but so beautiful when you're the team who does it. Really nice play there.
Artemis, I think, you know, so Artemis, you know, he's a thief. I tell you, he's one thief. He's been stealing, you know, objectives throughout this series, and he's done it again for his team. He's been the one pulling them through, on these desperate situations. Let's see if they can capitalize on this into the Rotom fight.
Yeah, the interesting thing is we have level 8 from Sylveon on Alpha Q, level 10 from Zero Aura. So we have Unites basically on one side of the map and not many on the other. Well, tons of Unites coming down just as anticipated. And yeah, it was just an absolute bloodbath for Instinct. There goes Goal. There goes Rotom if they're able to capitalize. Yep. Yeah. Pushing into the secondary goal. I wouldn't be surprised if they take this to secondary goal and score on it as well. We'll have to see. Oh, and this is an interesting move by Lucario here, so I think he's planning on scoring bottom when everyone is focused on this top lane here.
Yep, and they're trying to defend here. Lucario's Unite coming out.
Yeah.
Instinct on the attack, trying to push back that Rotom.
Oof, we got some Unites coming down. This is actually a good fight for Instinct. They're doing a great job of pushing back here. Can this Lucario take him out? Oh, he wanted him. He wanted him so bad, and I get it. He is the thorn in their side. If they can take out that Sylveon, those team fights really turn around. And I love, again, as someone who mains Sylveon, I just love seeing Sylveon be so important and so impactful in this game.
I think they took the right approach to this fight with the Lucario coming in, or if there's Zero Rest coming in from the behind.
Ooh, here it goes. They burn it right away. Look at that. They didn't even give him time to react to that. Dread gone. And we've got Unites coming down. They're pushing them back. They want this goal. They want this fight right here. This is a big fight. I'm kind of surprised that this fight is happening like this.
I think they're playing very aggressive here, Team Alpha Q, trying to get those points. I think that they loaded with those points, and they want to really get land that Aeos energy into the goal.
Yeah.
But
the interesting thing about a fight like this, and I think Alpha Q played it perfectly. The interesting thing is, if you push into that secondary goal after second Dreadnought and you score a couple points, but everyone gets KO'd, you've just given up tons of experience there. But I believe, and it was all happening pretty fast, but I believe they only gave up 1 KO for that, and that was the Snorlax. So I think that was a positive push for Alpha Q, where some teams would make that same push and I think lose it. Here we go, big fight at Rotom, and they're burning it again. Oh my gosh! Wow. Huge fight there, and we see Alpha Q able to secure that Rotom. I mean, that was just one of those complete coin flip situations as well.
Yeah, I think that was just who gets lucky with the last hit on that Rotom, because everyone blasted their abilities at the same time, and whoever got the last one in. But yeah, you see 4 KOs here from Team Alpha Q, and they should get easy Rotom in and score plenty of points.
Wow.
They do.
Secondary goal gone, and this is the Alpha Q that we saw from some of the earlier games here, just coming out and absolutely dominating each one of these team fights. You've got to give it up to Artemis for that steal early on, but they have, as they did in kind of their first couple games, they've unfortunately lost every meaningful team fight here to Alpha Q. So Alpha Q burning this Dreadnought again. Look at how fast they're taking it down. They're not even giving them time to react.
Yep.
Huge moves here. So obviously, here's the moment that they've been in a few times, Instinct, right? They are behind. They know they're behind. It is a Zapdos game right now. So I wonder what we are going to see from Instinct. Are we going to see a different strategy at Zapdos?
How they're trying to surround the enemies. So, it's good. Not everyone charging it through center.
Yeah, and we got Snorlax. Oh, that Snorlax is just getting burnt down so hard. And there we go.
I think
the final stretch.
Oh, yep. I don't know what that Snorlax is doing.
Yeah, I have actually no idea what that was about. I guess they're trying to level right there. He really should be at that fight, but maybe they're feeling confident. We got Unite moves coming down. I mean, this is the moment for Instinct. They need to take these KOs here. Can they take Zero Aura? They're focusing everything on Zero Aura right now, but they are not able to get rid of him. We have the Zero Aura from Instinct. Here we go. So close. Yay! He wants him so bad. God. Oh, wow. And look at that. Staying alive, trading this whole way. No one is down, but here's that Sylveon. Here is that Sylveon from Alpha Q, burning him down here. We have 1 down from Instinct. and it looks like they are now pushed out of this Zapdos fight. If they don't retreat here, it feels like that Sylveon's going to burn everyone.
Nice.
But no!
Ooh.
Look at that!
Instinct coming back in this fight. Triple kill here for Instinct. 3 KOs. Eldegoss the last man. Eldegoss Minora.
Here we go. So we have that Zero Aura in this bush right now. They know that they have to be ready for this Zap here, but now actually that Zero Aura has taken out the Eldegoss from Instinct. Here we go. This Zap is almost done. 45 seconds on the clock. It is time to make the play that saves the game for Instinct. Oh.
And AlphaQ get the Zapdos and trouble here.
That is a heavy slam taking that Zap, and that is the game is sewn up at that point. GG. I mean, great team fights there at the end. Instinct was once again put in a position to have to win Zap, and unfortunately they were not able to pull that team fight out, probably because they were too behind, you know, level-wise, given losing all of the dreads throughout the match. But a really valiant effort from Instinct, and a better team fight at Zap than we've seen throughout the entire series.
I think they sustained, they did their best, they put up a great fight, but eventually I think, you know, the victory went to the team that were more spot on with their execution. Team AlphaQ here, you know, looking very dominant in that one, and I think taking up the scoreboard to 3-1.
Yes, that might have been, you know, early game, that might have felt like their most dominant performance here. And it's interesting, you know, we have this early jungle gank from Zero Aura going bottom instead of the classic top lane where both Zero Auras would meet top for the Lucarios. And unfortunately for Instinct, it was all downhill from there all match. They were just kind of on the back foot. They had a nice team fight at one point, pushing them back in that bottom lane, but in general, they lost again every major team fight to AlphaQ, and that AlphaQ Sylveon, they did not shut it down this time. I think Sylveon was more protected, a little less aggressive at times, waiting for those moments a little more, but we just saw that Sylveon come back out and melt everyone again.
No, I think Volk is definitely a Sylveon to watch out for Team Instinct. They really need to find out, I think, you know, discover something to counter the Sylveon with. They need a jungler, I think, you know, like Talon, maybe a Talon and Cinderace combo where Cinderace essentially peels and then Talonase cleans up at the back end could be something that they could try, in my opinion, to sort of get that you know, momentum going for them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think at this point, Instinct is probably saying that they've seen the most success team-wise with their Zero Aura. So I don't know if they're switching off Zero Aura at this point. I don't know if we're going to see any other Pokemon. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a mirror matchup heading into this fifth round here, which could be the final match of the grand finals if AlphaQ is able to put it away right now.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And I think, you know, Instinct, you know, fighting to survive here, AlphaQ fighting to dominate here, I would say. And, you know, really wrap it up early for themselves, close the series on a high, and just you know, try to dominate so that they can clearly be called the #1 team in India. You know, no questions asked.
Yeah, and I mean, from what I've seen so far, they are a dominant team, and I think Instinct is still in this, especially from that match we saw where they won it. They were in control of that game. They changed up what they were doing, and they were able to isolate and take down the enemy carries and make sure that they were in good positions there. That was a really strong Instinct match, and I think we could absolutely see another.
Absolutely, you know, I look forward to Instinct really making a comeback here. But you know, and just talking about, you know, plays. So what do you think if you know, I'm sure you've seen TTV a lot and you've seen other teams play as well. So you know, if you talk about you know, the mechanics and the overall play styles, how would you compare, you know, the AlphaQ team versus TTV or any of the top teams that you see?
You know, I got to say it's weird. It's hard to say without actually seeing them match up against each other and kind of seeing how the fundamentals play out. I'll say
when I'm watching Alpha Q right now, I think that they play really well. They are a really, really solid team. This reminds me of a situation a long time ago in competitive esports for League of Legends, where there was this North American team called Cloud9, and Cloud9 was, they were doing so well. This was when I was like really into watching League of Legends esports. They were doing so well,
Right.
and they were like the great North American hope. If you don't know much
yes.
about League of Legends,
No, I think a lot of our community is very well aware of Cloud9. Guys, can we have some OP in the chat for Cloud9?
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
They were so good, but you know, and here in North America, we were like, yes, Cloud9, we have a competitor. And then China came in and just destroyed us. So it's what it is, you know, there are different levels of where the game is being played. Right now, it actually feels like this is rare, I think, for an esport, but right now it feels like some of the most dominant teams in this game happen to be North American teams. We have not seen a ton of Japanese teams, North American teams play. There's also big issues of you know, different servers, so there's lag and stuff like that. So it would be really interesting to see it all on LAN. But this is a game actually where North America seems to be very, very strong competitively. So the question is, if Alpha Q was put into that pool, would they sink or swim? And unfortunately, I think we have no way of knowing. It's very possible that they are 100% competitive, and it's also possible that we have a Cloud9 situation where they would just get destroyed by a team that, you know, is playing this game competitively, 5-man, 12 hours a day, and they're, you know, insanely focused on it. I can't say. What do you think when you watch both?
So to be honest, you know, I think Alpha Q definitely. So I know them for the last year and a half. You know, in that sense, because they're a team that have, you know, played AOV with us. They played you know, Wild Rift with us, and I know all of these players personally. So they're very strong with their mechanics, and they've been the top players in whatever sport they play. So I'll give you that.
I'm a dumb person. Are we in match right now?
Yes, we are. Yes.
Oh God.
So the match is started.
Bloviating about Cloud9. Okay, here we go. We're in this game right now. We actually have a Wigglytuff jungling. You love to see it. Okay, here we go. Big moves here.
Jungling?
Oh, was it not jungling? Oh, it's their Greninja. I'm sorry. I see Wigglytuff jungling a lot of games right now in tournaments, so my brain immediately went to that. Okay, we have Greninja jungling, Wigglytuff bottom lane replacing Eldegoss. This is going to be a really interesting situation come late game. I wonder if they just want to set up more situations where this Sylveon is able to just burn people. Not only do we have heavy slam block, we're also going to put him to sleep with Sing. So,
yep.
We shall see.
One of my co-casters in one of the earlier, you know, matches was talking about how, you know, Snorlax and Wigglytuff can really turn out to be very deadly, coupled with a, you know, nice attacker who has good AoE damage. I think Sylveon is that attacker who, you know, if coupled with these two, can do some crazy damage.
Yes, absolutely, and we're seeing them form up here. The question is, what's the fight going to be down here at Dread? Is it going to be similar to what we've seen this whole time? And it looks like it is. We got 4-on-4, both Lucarios staying top. It doesn't look like either one's peeling off as of right now. Trading a little bit back and forth. No one getting KO'd there. A little close.
And this time, you know, do you notice Greninja rotating bot for team, you know, Alpha Q? Unlike where you usually rotate top. But I think it's because the objectives and the late with the rotation.
Yeah. And here we go. We've got this Dread fight. I mean, Dread is up here. So the question is...
And do you notice teams are neck and neck, 53 points to 53 points at this moment?
Yeah, it's tied here, and they're actually burning it right now. Alpha Q going for it, and it is taken by Instinct. There we go. Big steal with that Sarah Aura. Really nice play by Instinct there. And interestingly enough, both teams walk away from this Dreadnought mostly unscathed as they move towards the top lane. Everyone peeling away going top.
And do you see the level advantage that Phoenix has on Aeos at this point? He's level 9 while Aeos is level 7.
Yes,
so, you know,
I mean,
a good strong start for, you know, team Instinct here, I think.
You're right. Very, very strong. That means they've got their Unite. They've got that level advantage. That Dreadnought really helps with that. The biggest thing about that Dreadnought is it can sometimes give teams their Unite, and they're pushing this advantage right here. The question is, how many Unites are we seeing going down? We have one. We have two. Both Unites going down. We have the goal coming down, and they are just pushing Alpha Q away from this moment. Do they have Rotom already? They're burning it. There we go. Big moves from Instinct right now. They won that Dreadnought, and they really kept that advantage using those Unites.
I think the only thing they need to do now is, 3 or 4 people push with the Rotom, but one goes to the top lane to defend those free scores and also try to put in something. You can see Sylveon making the most of that and getting that free XP, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, we do see that. The question is, if they can get this Rotom in, I mean, this is huge for Instinct right here. Huge.
And they do.
Wow.
They do. They get that second goal.
Wow. Instinct starting this match off so strong. Such an incredible start. And I mean, at this point, you have to wonder, is Alpha Q kicking themselves here for running this Wiggly, or are they getting ready to really show them why they pulled this Pokemon into the match?
Yep, let's see. I think, both teams very well positioned here, very competitive. Alpha Q is not one to go down without a fight, so yeah, definitely let's see. Theo's initiating with that Unite.
Yep. We've got Unites coming down here. Got Unites from Zeraora. Big Greninja Unite move there. Looking to take them all down, and it feels like Instinct's on the back foot right now. Sylveon taking out Snorlax. Let's see who else is going down in this fight. There goes Lucario. And right now, Instinct is in trouble in this engagement, and it looks like Alpha Q is saying, nope, we're taking Dread right now, burning it, and they take it. Yeah. Nice moves by Alpha Q in this moment here. They're behind, but they handled themselves extremely well in that team fight, and they're actually pushing past goal to take some of these KOs. You love to see it.
Yep, I think Alpha Q, once again showing why they're the Alphas. Once again, 40-point attempted here by Lucario, gets it, and they will go into the Rotom in the lead now. Second Rotom into the lead by 9 points. Neck and neck for both teams.
You can't even overstate how important it was taking that goal too, because now they don't have a place to heal. They don't have shields. This becomes a much more fair fight, and here we go. It is taken by Alpha Q. Big moves there, big moves, and we are seeing Snorlax down. They're chasing this Greninja. They want this Greninja, but they're not able to get it.
Do you notice how beautifully their attackers, one of their defenders is always with their attacker. And I think, that's what makes it so beautiful for Alpha Q. Their formations and their positioning is just impeccable.
Yes, you're absolutely right there. They are constantly setting up their attackers to win. And that's what you want to do when you're a defender, supporter. You want to put your team in a position to win all of these fights. You want your attacker to do 100+ K damage because you set up these incredible moments for them.
Exactly. So I think, in that sense, while we're definitely giving both a lot of credit, I would also give a lot of credit to the supporters and defenders.
Oh, yes.
That's Snorlax and, Jigglypuff just doing some crazy work there. And,
That's right.
I often say and feel that, supports go unrecognized for their valiant efforts. So, big kudos to those two there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the supports are, the drummer or the bass player, and of course those attackers feel like the lead singer, so you're always going, look at that attacker, look at it shine. Oh, look at what's happening right now. We have every member of Instinct hiding in this push. They're trying to bait this fight here. Oh, they knew, but here we go. Unite's coming out from both teams. This is just going to be chaos right now. We have one down from Instinct.
Three down from Instinct.
Oh no!
4 down!
Oh no!
5 down!
That is a huge win for Alpha Q. You love to see the strategy there, but Alpha Q said, no way. We're checking that bush.
That was a perfect bush check by that Sylveon. I think, crazy damage there dealt by Wolf and devastated I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love the strategy, but unfortunately they were not able to capitalize on it. And from there, they are behind. We have a minute left
they literally have to have every single member of Team Instinct score a full dunk, basically 100 points. I don't know if it's possible. I've seen crazier things happen, but they are in trouble right now.
That would be 1 in a million. I think they're definitely in deep trouble right now.
Yep.
What is going in their favor is they have those bases open, you know, the top goal, the first tier goal open in the bot lane, and that creates some good scoring, at least one good scoring opportunity for them.
Yeah, and that is it. They are not able to take that, and that's your champion. Alpha Q is your champion.
We do have our first ever Aeos India champion. You know, I wouldn't want to call it until the game ends, but yeah,
Of course.
pretty much it's game over for Team Instinct here.
I mean, I know I'm not the officiator, so I can't call anything, but I'm calling it. Those are your champions, India. I mean, what an incredible series. They really dominated most of their matches here and truly proved that they are the champion team. They are the team to watch. I hope you liked that. I had a great time. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love you all. And yeah, I love you all. Love you so much. All right. Bye, everybody. Mwah.